So what was it like growing up at VCAC?
Growing up at VCAC was a very fun community for myself. There were a lot of leaders around that I've gained a lot of experience from them counseling me, from them like teaching me Sunday school and such, as well as a lot of friends that I grew up with here at VCAC. We were able to learn a lot about God just through our like Sunday school lessons and such, as well as just learn what it means to kind of be a Christian through a lot of the courses that I've taken. Yeah.
So you've been here for basically all your life. Basically. Yeah. Is there any leaders in particular that helped you with your journey?
Personally, there are many leaders that I've had throughout all these years. But one particular, I guess, Sunday school teacher that sticks out to me is Janie, actually.
Okay.
She was teaching me Sunday school for actually a lot of years. I don't know how many, but multiple years. I think she was probably one of the leaders that I have come to know a lot just because of the sheer amount of years that she was able to teach me. There was also a lot of other experiences that we've had with her teaching Sunday school, but I felt like she gave a lot of care and compassion to like teaching us as children and as well as young teens when we were in her Sunday school class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for quite a few years, you were also in Awana, both as a clubber and as a leader. So what did Awana mean to you?
Awana, as a child, I was definitely thinking that it was a fun place to gather with friends, play some games, learn some more Bible stories and such, as well as memorize verses. Now looking back, I think that it was a really good experience to have, especially with memorizing the Bible verses actually. It's come to help me a lot, and just kind of like knowing more about the Bible in general through the experience at Awana. And of course, I mean, like, playing games was always fun.
Well, you transitioned from being a clubber to being a leader, but you weren't just any leader. You were working in the admin part of the clubs. Did that really change your perspective on the program as a whole?
Personally, I don't think it changed too much. I enjoyed all of Awana, which is why I chose to be in the admin rather than just being one of the leaders for a specific section of the clubbers or of the club. I just liked seeing everything as Awana is, and that I was able to help bring things together as well as plan things, organize some things, look at some of the budget stuff, just to like make sure that the club continues to run and to the best of my abilities keep it growing. But yeah.
Is there like any favorite memory from your time as a clubber or as a leader?
Definitely can't forget about games time. I've had a lot of fun just playing as a clubber with the leaders and against other clubbers. I guess personally myself, I just like competing. I also like active things. So that was definitely a very memorable experience for Awana, for myself. And yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to now today. Last year, Pathfinders became a brand new fellowship. You were one of the first people to join. So tell me a little bit more about Pathfinders. What is it about?
Pathfinders is a fellowship for young adults here at our church. We gather every Friday nights, and I think it's a place that we can come together to just fellowship with one another, kind of like talk with each other, share experiences, as well as learn more about God. Within our year, we've grown quite a bit, although like some of the pandemic issues here and there has caused shifts in people coming, but overall it's steadily growing, I think. And I see like new people showing up every now and then, which is really nice to see. And yeah, I think overall our community is very welcoming. We are able to share things openly, and I think that's very important.
Do you mean growing in numbers, or is there something bigger, deeper behind that?
Growing in terms of growing in faith is like, as we kind of like journey together in this, we've kind of slowly taken steps to kind of advance ourselves or kind of grow in our faith with God, and how we can like ways that we can connect with God more, and learning just more things about Him together. Yeah.
Is there anything particular that brings you to fellowship every week?
Yeah, I would say I really enjoy the community, just being able to see one another and just experience things together. It's always great. I mean, and also meeting new friends too.
And also, like, even because I'm part of Clay Fellowship, we still meet up after. it's not like completely separate,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. How about another aspect? You've been part of the worship team for a number of years. We played together for a very long time, but you only recently became a worship leader. So what led you to take that step?
Well, that's a very good question. A lot of things to come with that. Personally, like Pastor Sam, when he was one of the pastors at our church, he was in charge of the worship teams. And myself, I just really enjoyed playing on the worship team as like my way of worshiping God and praising Him. However, like, yeah, as you said, I was just playing on the team for many, many years. And actually, Pastor Sam one day asked me if I would like to become a worship leader. And he kind of gave me the space to think about it and to just like pray about it and talk to God about it and see where I go with it. And I think the fact that he brought the topic up, it had really got me thinking. And the way that he was able to encourage me, I think really allowed me to have the space I needed to talk with God and to kind of know what steps to take. And I really thought that God was telling me to take that step forward and to become a leader and not just playing on the worship team.
So has your perspective or look on playing worship, doing worship, has that changed or evolved at all ever since, from when you started to now that you're doing? I mean, we're doing worship tomorrow.
Yeah. My perspective on worship itself hasn't changed much. I think personally, through my years of playing on the worship team, I've gotten countless experiences from different leaders as well as different pastors who were at our church talking about what it is like to lead for worship. So for myself, that perspective hasn't really changed. But what I did realize as a worship leader is how hard it is to be a worship leader versus just playing on the team.
Yeah.
Because in my mindset, it was always just like the difference is you have to pick songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I mean, it's the musicality. You play to your level
Mm-hmm.
and to what you think you like, basically.
Yeah.
But then I never really realized how hard it was to pick songs. And I think through my experience, it was really good how I became a worship leader, because I realized that it was all on God and how I could
Mm-hmm.
rely on Him, even for something as just picking songs, right? To
Yeah.
connect with Him and to let Him decide, to have Him lead me so that I can lead the congregation.
Yeah. No, that's very important. I mean, I led worship probably, I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, first time. Because emergency. It was more of an emergency, but yeah. It was definitely nerve-wracking for my first time doing it. So, when you're playing in worship, what's the most, let's say if you're not leading, right? You're just focusing on playing. What is the most important aspect, or what's your focus on?
Personally, my focus is to create a space where the congregation can come to praise God. As well as kind of give them the space to be ready to receive that week's sermon. And I think that's just the main focus. It's really just to lead people into the presence of God.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive back in time. Take me back to 2009. We actually have your car right there in front of you. So can you tell me a little bit about what went into the design for this specific car?
Personally, my goal was always to make something that was streamlined.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't want to take out any of the design factors. I wanted to still look like a car that you would see in real life.
Yeah.
Just something that kind of showed racing as well. So myself, with my limited tools, I tried to make something that looked like a sports car, just because I was also very into sports cars. And using that in mind, I just tried to like copy some shape that looked like a sports car.
Yeah.
There's a little weight in the back that I did add. I think it's just a regular nail, probably like a 2-inch nail or so. And that was just to add a little bit of weight, just to make it go faster.
Yeah.
And
you did this mostly by yourself, right?
Yeah, I did. I would say 90% of this by myself.
In 2009, you being grade 6,
yes,
which is really impressive. So yeah, how did it go?
It was really good. I was really proud of this car. I thought I did a great job, especially as a grade 6. Nowadays, when I look back at it, yeah, very proud that I was able to do this, but obviously improvements can be made.
Yeah.
I did come in second, but that was because of some other technical issue, which is because of one of the wheels. It actually got caught on the track.
Oh.
And I mean, I kind of blame that on myself for not securing the wheels, but you know, things happen, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, the winner for that Grand Prix is also competing in this one. So you're not using that car this year. You're building a brand new one from scratch. Much older, much more educated. You went into engineering, so this is very much up your alley. So with this memory in 2009, are you keeping that in mind as you prepare for this Grand Prix?
Keeping it in mind, yeah. I mean, like, I do want to win. It would be very nice to take first place, especially with the new trophy and all that has been going on. But, you know, no heat against the other person or anything. You know, I very much enjoy having him in the race. Yeah. And I look forward to a very friendly competition.
Is there anything can you share anything about what you're doing for this car?
For this year's car, I still like to keep with the perspective of winning both in terms of speed and design. I don't like to just go for one or the other. I think it's just nice to be able to kind of engineer something that doesn't take compromises, or at least huge compromises, right? That aside, I mean, there are documents with many pages that you can read up on how to make the fastest car. Yeah. But I personally want to take the knowledge that I have from there, as well as my own engineering experience, and try to design something that looks really cool and can also compete and be quickly. I don't want to spoil too much because you'll have to come and watch just to see when it comes up.
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to it come May 27th.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.